Charm God.
All right, man, here we are again on the Charm Hour. If you don't know who I am Boi Dru, the Charm Guy. You are tuned in to the Charm Hour. Do me a favor before we go any further. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell so you can get notifications when we drop in this filtered, unapologetic content. You know, I'm the king of controversial conversations and uncomfortable conversations. So we're gonna get right into it. I did a full length show on this topic. It is coming, so you need to stay tuned. You need to watch out for my post because it's going to be exclusively the full length episode of this is going to be on the LFTP network. But we're going to get into this Andrew Schulz thing. On my episode, I got, I get into different areas of this conversation, but for this uninterrupted right here on the Charm Hour on the Boi Dru the Charm God channel, we may get a little more controversial than I would on the full length episode in terms of how do I feel about Andrew Schulz as a comedian, and what do I feel? How do I feel about what he actually said? Hey, let's just dive right into it. Are we against perversion in our community? I have told y'all several times before that the black community is the most perverse community in the world. I have said this. I've talked about it. I have tons of information on this and content on this. I've talked about this. I'm starting to see other content creators now say the same thing. But we support debauchery. That's what we support. And so when you are supporting debauchery, when everything that you have is about debauchery, everybody has that perception of you. We call women bees, we call women hoes. Um, we have the sexy reds, we have the Cardi B's, we have gangster music, we have drill music. We already have content out there that is just filthy, and it has so much negative effects on our community. So when we challenge anybody saying something negative about us, they have absolutely the most utmost right to tell us that we're hypocritical, because we are hypocritical. Because in fact, most rappers are uh making music or supporting music that supports misogyny, sexism, um, uh, the R word culture. Y'all already know what that is. We do support music that supports that, if we're just being honest. We used to argue and say that it was art. We used to say, no, that doesn't mean that, but no, it does. I've talked about the progression of gangster music and what it did. Y'all see the painting back there. It's fitting that I would have it. I love Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur is one of my favorite rappers, but also he helped usher in gangster music. He made it cool to be a part of gang violence, and that is just a detriment to our society. I've even said this about Kendrick. I have no listen. I love this album by Kendrick. I just love good music. But one of the issues that sometimes is a problem with a lot of West Coast artists is that there's this heavy influence of gang culture. They're gonna bring it out. So why you're saying that you're not like us? Y'all saying that this dude, oh, they not like us. They not like us. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like he's making some protest, but he's also definitely reiterating parts of our culture that just isn't good for us. And gang culture is one of those things. Listen, man, I have love for our people. I love our people, black people. I think we all can identify with the struggles and victimhood of what we've been through in this country. I'm from the inner city, so I identify with those in the inner city. Hey, all my brothers that's in gangs right now, all my brothers that's out there selling dope right now, I can identify with him because I came up with him in the struggle, and I love him, and I want to see him through whatever he's going through. But at the end of the day, he is living a perverse life, and he's pushing a perverse lifestyle. That's just what it is. And we backdoor and start rapping about it. We rap about perversion all the time. We rap these verses where we're just talking about all sorts of debauchery filled activities. It's just what it is. And we have seen it have such a great influence on our community over time. And this is why no one takes us serious. So when you have an Andrew Schulz that's saying, "Hey, this is how I feel," let me say this too. Cut the fake outrage. The dude is funny. We'll invite everybody to the cookout until we feel like they do something egregious. Then we want to kick them out the cookout. It doesn't work like that. You have to have self-respect for yourself first. You have to have self-respect for yourself first. If we don't want nobody dropping the N-bomb, then we don't need to be dropping the N-bomb. If we don't want nobody to be having these ideals about us, then we have to project different ideals and ideology of ourselves. He not wrong because he see us the way the world see us. How we know that they see us like that? Look at this election. Look at the election cycle. Look at the election cycle. That should have told you everything that you needed to know. That should have told you everything that you needed to know about how the world views our culture because they feel like that's the only way you communicate when they're giving you a Megan Thee Stallion, when they're giving you a Cardi B, when they're giving you all these, when they're giving you Quavo rappers to communicate to you about important issues. That should let you know how they truly feel about you. That's how the world sees us. So I think it's an indictment on all of us when Andrew Schulz fires back at Kendrick and says, "Hey man, how you gonna say that I can't make fun or just make light of or a joke about women in the community when you don't really appreciate women in the community? How do I know that? Because you haven't taken a real stomp down stance against not working with artists that have had some domestic disputes with them." Now I've spoke on this and I'm gonna speak on this again. I do go further into this. Y'all need to stay tuned. I go further into this on the next show, but I'm just tired of Chris Brown slander. I'm tired of Chris Brown slander. Let's give Chris a break, man. Chris was a young dude. Um, you know, we know what happened. He paid the price for it ultimately, really, with his career, and he persevered through, man. Chris Brown is a phenomenal artist, dancer, singer, songwriter. His gifts have made room for him. We need to understand that his gifts have made room for him. So I really don't. And do we believe in redemption? I've talked about this before on this channel, and I encourage you, newcomers, people that are here already, go look at them videos, man. Go look at them videos I got on this channel. You gonna find some gems in these videos, man. A lot of stuff. It's prophetic. I'm talking about. I got stuff on here that I've talked about. Just go look at my episode. I'm probably gonna link it in the description, or I'll probably pin it in the comment. Go look at the episode where I talk about Tupac being Cap because I said Tupac spelled Pac spelled backwards is Cap. I'm gonna pin that in the comment section, and I want y'all to go check that video out of what I've said. In fact, I'm gonna do that on the next few videos where I've talked about this, and that was a couple years ago. I've already spoke on what our culture is really like. But I mean, when we talk about redemption, man, we gotta also. I've talked about redemption on here too. That's why I went in this little tangent on all the other videos I have here because I feel like how you want redemption, how you want redemption, but you can't give redemption. You don't believe in it. Got a lot of people out here saying they Christians and they want to be saved, but they don't really believe in God. You know why they don't believe in God? Because they don't believe in redemption. And redemption is all about what? Hey, rescuing you from yourself, rescuing you from your sins if you want to be. If you want to be changed, you'll be changed. Okay. So I think that brother has said he didn't like that, he didn't like the path he was going. He acknowledged what had happened to him and he's since moved on. Okay. So that's my issue. There's always gonna be some undertones when other cultures are talking about our culture. I don't care who it is. I'm just gonna be honest. Nobody's gonna fully be 100% okay with you talking about their culture when you aren't genetically born into it. Andrew Schulz is not a black man. So we feel odd to hear him talk about black issues. We feel it odd to hear him talk about black things. But here's the issue. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? How are we handling this by what we have to? I told y'all this already. The culture is filled with debauchery. And if you don't recognize that and admit that, it ain't gonna change. I told you that already. You got to recognize it. There's other types of music we should be pushing. There's other artists out there that we should be pushing and cultivating. We need to be pulling our resources together and determine what kind of media we want to go out for us. We need black media too to address issues and talk about information outside of Roland Martin and all these puppets for the liberal Democrat Party. We need somebody. Now, like Yvette Cornell, you got Tariq Nasheed out here. You have other groups of people, but I'm talking about a legitimate. Also, they said we didn't have a Joe Rogan. I'm the Joe Rogan for black people. Anybody can tune into my show, but I'm the black Joe Rogan. You can tune in and get all sorts of opinions from here, but we need all types of media for us to consume besides just debauchery filled content, because we are projecting our culture to the world and how people look at us. And we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful how people are checking us out. We need to be very mindful of this. All the things that I have discussed in regards to our culture, even though it may be triggering, is to get us to wake up and see how we really need to be carrying ourselves so other people will respect us. We have to unite with our pockets. We have to unite with our ideology, at least on how people view us. Because I've said this before, a rapper does not represent me. Someone who has been a part of police brutality or lost their life at the hands of a police officer does not represent me. That does not represent me. There are things in our culture that we are pushing as if they're a representation of us, and it's just not. It is not representative of us at all. So you need to think about that. I want you to think about that. In fact, I want you to keep watching and tune in to what else I have to say. And remember, go tap that comment right now. That comment right now where I talk about all of this information. And I've shared my opinions about this like 2 years ago. Go tap that right now.